Masa Kitani. I'm a fashion costume designer, and I'm here today to show you the difference between a lock stitch and a chain stitch. Here I have a sewn example. I used red thread instead of white, so you can see the difference. This is a chain stitch, this is a lock stitch. You can't really tell the difference between the two on the front, but it's the back that you have to look at. Here you can see why it's called a chain stitch. It has an actual chain. This is a lock stitch. It's our regular typical stitch that you see on almost every home sewing machine, industrial sewing machine, pretty much any industry machine. This is more of a handheld machine. I don't really see many chain stitches in the industry, but the differences and the functionality on both of them have their own ups and downs. As long as a lock stitch has a good bottom, a strong bottom stitch, underneath stitch, and top stitch, this is pretty much your best stitch. It's good for stretch fabrics, woven fabrics, pretty much any type of fabric you have out there. A chain stitch is really, really good for stretch fabrics. It's good for bathing suits. It's good for anything that it gives, because the chain stitch is a loop, so it kind of gives it a little bit of a give. I don't know if you can see it there, but you can kind of pull it apart. It gives it a little bit of room. Now, there's more, personally for me, I prefer the lock stitch, because as long as it's a strong lock stitch and the underneath stitch, the bobbin stitch, isn't loose and doesn't, thread up, that's the biggest problem you'll ever have on that, but that's a sewing machine problem. It's not the stitch itself. The chain stitch, this is my biggest pet peeve. Here I have is a chain stitch that I just sewed off my machine individually. And the biggest problem with the chain stitch is that if it breaks and just pulls just right, you're going to end up with a long piece of thread because it'll just unravel. Well, I hope that showed you the pros and cons of using a lock stitch to the chain stitch. They're both really good, but my preference is a lock stitch. My name is Masa Kitani. Thank you for watching. See you next time.